Check! Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Released in 1948 and is directed by Charles Barton, who's behind such films like Two Latins for America, A Man's World, and Is Everybody Happy? And of course, this film stars the comedic genius of Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, and they are joined by our Universal monsters, Lon Chaney Jr., Bela Lugosi, and Glenn Strange. Dracula has come to the States in order to put a new brain into the body of the Frankenstein monster. And the brain that Dracula has selected is Wilbur, played by Lou Costello. Actually very smart because it's probably the most simpleton brain you can find. But Wilbur and Chick, played by Lou Costello, are joined by Lawrence Talbot, played by Lon Chaney Jr., who also appears as the Wolfman in later scenes. And he informs these two of Dracula's plan and enlists their help in trying to stop him. Which of course is something very easy to do for any character that Lou Costello plays, but you have to do a little bit of convincing with Bud Abbott. Because of course when we're talking about Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, Bud Abbott, he's the straight man to this comedic duo. He's the somewhat intelligent one. He has reason. His humor comes from sarcasm. His humor comes from not being funny at all, really. But then we have Lou Costello, who is he's our low humor comedian. He's all about the pratfalls and mistaken identity. He's the one that we are laughing at constantly. And I said it before in my last review, I think that Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, they are the greatest comedic duo of all time. They had their starts in vaudeville, then they had their little rise in burlesque, then they came out to Hollywood and they started making several different comedic pictures. Really starting in 1941 with that hit classic Buck Privates, starring the Andrews sisters. And they were releasing movies and going on tour ever since. Then about 7 years later, they start to take the turn down the horror comedy route with Meet Frankenstein. Yes, that's right. Before this whole dark universe shit tried to happen with that Tom Cruise Mummy movie, we had a dark universe already established. We had Dracula, we had Frankenstein, we had the Wolfman, we even kind of technically had the bride of Frankenstein in this movie, and all of their backstories and all of their history have been melded into one fantastic film. Basically, this was the MCU before there was such a thing as an MCU. This movie even has a post-credits scene where they introduce the Invisible Man. So a couple of years ago when Universal was announcing that, hey, we're going to do this dark universe with all of our Universal monsters, I'm like, you already have that. Just do this again. Which you really can't do because Abbott and Costello, they're one of a kind. To kind of... You know what I'm saying. But I absolutely love this movie. I remember watching it so many times growing up. My family, we got this 4-pack of VHS tapes of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello comedies, horror comedies. So there was this one, there was The Invisible Man, The Mummy, and I believe Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were in there. I love those other ones too, but nothing compared to this one. Probably because that this was the first one and all those other ones came out several years later. They were a little bit older. Here, they're young, they're fresh. This is a new field for them, and it looks like they're having a blast. And I am too as the audience. And it's so brilliant what they did here. They really didn't do anything different with their stand-up routine. They had certain jokes that they would do on tour in their stand-up in their previous movies, and they just put them into this movie with maybe just a slight little twist on it. The most prominent one is the gag of the candle moving by itself routine. This, of course, was my first time seeing it, so I thought it was the most hilarious thing ever, but doing more research on it, they were doing this gag for years. Just this time it wasn't no ghost or spirit moving the candlestick. No, this time the candle was on Dracula's coffin as the coffin was opening up. So Costello is sitting there, he's reading this news bulletin, and then the candle starts moving, and he is such a delightful simpleton. He's not going to look inside the coffin, he's just going to freak out and call for Chick to come in. And Costello has such great comedic timing with his voice, with his physical acting. He'll yell, he'll whisper because he's so terrified he can't get the words out. And my favorite part of this movie happens right after this, and it's still hilarious today. Costello has had enough, he's calling for Chick to enter the room, he's freaking out, Dracula is slowly escaping in the background, and then when Chick comes in, Costello, he has the candle, he's been telling Abbott that the candle has been moving this entire time, so when he comes back in, he goes, "Oh, Chick, And just Costello's response to Abbott's response is classic. Just watch it. It's hilarious.
Ah, will ya?
Now, wait a minute. What's wrong now?
Oh, chick.
You gonna tell me that candle moved again?
Yeah.
I told you not to read this,
Yeah.
didn't I?
I can't help it. I can't help it.
They embrace the ridiculousness of this scenario. He's just like, yep, I'm scared. Yep, I can't help it. And how cool is it to get three of the big names that have played these big, iconic Universal monsters into this movie? Bela Lugosi, who is our original Dracula. I come to suck your blood. Which I just watched the other day because it's the Halloween season, and I'm sorry, that's not good. It's more of a comedy now to me than it is a monster movie. And it's also hilarious to think that that movie was terrifying back then. I think it was like 1933, 34, somewhere around there when that movie came out. And we have Glenn Strange, who played in several other Frankenstein movies. And we're also joined by Lon Chaney Jr., the original Wolfman, who I think was already in a movie with Frankenstein. Lon Chaney Jr., he's such a sad-looking man. All of his features just droop and go downwards. He just looks so depressed. Which I guess is the right kind of look that you want from someone who is a werewolf and kills people at night unwillingly. And I love the concept of bringing all three of these monsters together. It makes sense to me. We're not just putting all these monsters in because, well, we have to. Frankenstein's monster has become the slave to Dracula somehow. We don't get that backstory. But that criminal mind that the Frankenstein monsters had, he wants someone more subservient to him. So why not pick Lou Costello's brain? And then the Wolfman comes in trying to stop them because vampires and werewolves, if we've learned anything from those Twilight movies, well, they're bitter enemies. BT dub, this is way better than those. So on top of an impressive way to bring these monsters together, really this film succeeds with the comedic timing of Abbott and Costello. Just the simpleton comedy is just something I really appeal to. When Costello puts his arm down on an armrest and notices that, hey, there are two hands on that rest and not just one. Instead of having the intelligence to turn around and look and see if there's someone behind him, he just plays around with the hands until he hurts himself. I guess in a way you can call it stupid, but it's really just ingenious. I think all of their routines were just beyond its time. Who's on first, of course, that's the main classic one. Guys, in the end, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is an absolute delight. It is fantastic. It's a great watch. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch every single year. Great comedic timing from a classic comedic duo, and then you have the appeal of the three big Universal monsters coming into this picture. This was just a weird recipe that just mixed well and blended well with each other. If you have never seen Abbott and Costello in any of their films or in any of their stand-up, this is a great place to start. And I think the comedy ages pretty well. There's a lot of pratfalls, but there's a lot of witty, dialogue-heavy humor going on. And I definitely recommend you check this one out because I'm going to give Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now we come to my favorite part in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and my next movie is a fan recommendation from Kyle Rausch. He's one of my dear friends from my new job. Become a great friend over the past couple of years, and the man just got engaged a couple of weekends ago. Congratulations, sir. So as a gift to you, you recommended any of Adam Sandler's big comedic films, so I'm going to select my favorite one, and that, of course, is Happy Gilmore. Hey, you know that Mista lady? I think I just killed her. A comedy that I watched so many times growing up. I know all the words to this movie. A lot of my comedic timing, I think, I have gotten from watching this movie so much. And this was back when Adam Sandler, we liked who Adam Sandler was. We liked his humor. We got his humor. It was revolutionary. It was something different at the time. The problem with Adam Sandler, of course, is he kept doing the same thing all the time in every movie he did. Till eventually the jokes, the humor that he originated just weren't funny anymore. But I am so happy to go back to his golden age years. Happy Gilmore, definitely watching it. Kyle, thank you very much for your recommendation. If any of you have any recommendations of any movies that you want me to watch, please comment below or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Twitter. Leave your comment, leave your recommendation there. If I have access to it, I will select it and give you a shout out here on my channel. So guys, have you seen Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I post my next movie review. review. So everyone, I will see you next time with Happy Gilmore. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.